What's up, guys? What's up? So it's funny because I was just challenged to do this video and I was actually been thinking about it and I was going to write a post about this topic, but instead here we are. I might still write a post about it because a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened in 2017. A lot of things are still happening. The year's not over yet. But I wanted to talk to you guys really quick about like the top things that I would say were lessons that I learned this year. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I'm constantly doing things. I have things happening all the time. Hey, Emily. That's just, I made the commitment a couple of years ago to go like head first into this world and into this life that I'm building. And it's been enlightening. It's been scary. It's been the epitome of, and like the textbook definition of a roller coaster ride, right? And I'm just so grateful in so many ways. And I'm so grateful for all of you, like those of you who I feel like I know personally because you're here and you watch and you're paying attention and you ask me how my dogs are. And like, you've watched me continue to expand this journey and it just means the freaking world to me. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you and just let you know how much all of you mean to me. It's honestly an honor to have you in my space and in my world. You guys are awesome. So along the lines, like when I was thinking about what I would say were like top lessons in 2017. So there's a lot of lessons. I learned a lot of lessons. I'm a firm believer that if you are not feeling uncomfortable and making mistakes and learning lessons, then you're not growing. That means you're standing still. And that's not a good place to be, right? At least not for me. I'll go crazy. So a couple of the things that I learned, a couple of these may make you guys may guess these, and a couple of them may be a surprise. Well, one of them I think may be a surprise. But the first one is the fact that I had no freaking idea that I could create physical strength within my body. Learning what my body is capable of based upon the fact of how my mental strength and my physical strength can work together. I never knew that was a thing. It was never a part of my life. I'm the girl who you guys have seen pictures of me that I posted from when I was 19 years old and I weighed 110 pounds. I am 5'10". So weighing 110 pounds is actually extremely unhealthy, right? Like I had zero muscle mass. I had zero endurance. I was not healthy, but that's just how my like natural physique is if I don't do anything about it. So being able to realize that I spent a year building core strength and support system muscle, or the support muscle groups and the things up. And now I'm at a point where I'm like actually building like legitimate strength, like strength in a really impressive way that I didn't even know was possible. So that was a big lesson for me, was recognizing, number one, that I could be 100% in control of how I feel every day physically. I knew I could do it mentally. I've always done it mentally. I kind of had to in my past experiences. I kind of had to have the mental strength in order to basically like survive. But now being able to take that mental strength and put it into a place where I can have the physical strength match it. Like I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know it was even possible for me to have muscles, right? Like I didn't even know I could do that. And it's not even about like, ooh, look, like it's okay. Like I flex and I have a muscle and my back is super ripped and I have really strong legs now and I can squat 200 pounds for a full set. You know, that's awesome. It's all really, really cool. But that's just like icing on the cake. The thing for me is knowing that my body can now physically endure what it needs to. I am physically prepared and continue to prepare for anything that comes at me. If I need to go run from a bad guy who's trying to get me, I can. If I need to go fight somebody off, I've always been trained in self-defense, but now I actually have the physical strength behind it. So that is a big thing for me. That was a big realization, a big lesson learned. Like I didn't even know that was possible. So it's just made me feel even more powerful, and it's made me feel even more confident in the fact that I am 100% in control of how I react and handle any situation, right? Like I know I am mentally, but now to know that I can do it physically is really, really awesome, and it's a big shift. And I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to do another live another day to talk about exactly what happened when I got this tattoo and why it was so huge and like a big part of this, knowing that the work that I'm doing, I have overcome a physical condition that has hindered my life since I was 5 years old. 5 years old was the first time I ever passed out. And it's been a part of my life ever since. And I was able to overcome that when I got this tattoo. And that is just a testament to the work that I've been doing every single day to create my own fucking reality where it is no longer controlled by something else. It's controlled by me. I'm in control of that. So I'll tell that story another day because it's really long. So stay tuned for that. If you ever see a post that says the lighthouse story or then that's a good one to jump on. But okay, so that's lesson number 1. These aren't really in order, but these are just the things that kind of popped into my head. The next one is like, so I made a commitment 2 years ago to rip my life open for the world to see. Like you guys know, I show you everything basically, other than me naked, getting in the shower. No comments, please. I show you basically everything. I'm super raw with you. I am super real with you guys. Do I do it? I do it because, to be really honest with you, it makes me feel a lot better. There's something inside of me that I can tell you my purpose in life was to be put on this earth to share these things with you and to have the struggles I've had and to have the experiences that I go through so I can share them with people to help them know they're not alone, to help them push forward. And I do believe that there are some people that is their purpose on this planet, is to be able to be a lighthouse and stand there and say, you're not alone. Like, it's okay. Let me guide you to where you don't hit the same rocks that I did. Or if you do hit those rocks, you know that the world isn't going to end, right? That you're not going to fall flat on your face. And if you do fall flat on your face, you can pick it back up. So that's the thing I would say. So I made that commitment. Hey, Kyle, I made that commitment 2 years ago that I was going to just literally rip my life open to the world and continue to live that. And I would say that in this past year, like the first year I did a lot, but I held back on some things because it's hard. It's a hard thing to get used to. Sharing everything is hard. It's scary. It creates other situations that you might not recognize. Like, I've gotten death threats. I've gotten letters in the mail talking about my boyfriend cheating on me. I get emails from people who make up fake accounts. I've gotten things dropped off at my door. Like, a lot of shit comes along with deciding that you're going to lead a public life. And it probably doesn't help that Tony was like locally famous. That just kind of added to the mix. But I still committed to doing it. And that kind of hindered me in 2016 because those things happened. But what I did, I would say, in this year, in 2017, is I was like, I don't fucking care, basically. And I'll tell you that I haven't had any of that shit happen to me in a while, other than, like, I've had to block some numbers and deal with people that are trying to harass me, basically. But, like, I made the commitment, and the deeper that I go into the journey and the deeper that I go into that, the deeper the understanding is that, like, this is exactly what I'm here for, and this is my purpose, and I'm never going to not do this. Like, if social media shut down tomorrow, I would find a way to reach my people and talk to my people. Like, you know, it's just a purpose that I have. And so one of the biggest lessons that I learned is that the stronger that I'm committed to this lifestyle, the better I feel, and the more open it is, and the more doors are opened, and the more rewarding it is. You know, because it's scary. Like, think about this. In a world, like, I'm not married. I don't have children. I live my life very publicly. Not every man that comes into my space is going to be okay with that. So he wouldn't be the right person for me. It's going to take a very special human to be able to fit into this mix and be a part of this lifestyle with me. But yet I continue creating it. Do I know exactly what that's going to look like? No. But do I have faith that it can happen? Yes. So I continue creating, and I'm just so fucking committed that I'm not worrying about what might happen or who might do what. I know that I'm very intentional with what I'm creating and what I put out there and how I do what I do. I'm extremely intentional with everything that I say and how open I am. It's on purpose. Like, I stop what I'm doing and tell you guys about things, or I make sure that I understand what I want to talk about before I talk about it. I don't speak from a place of things that I Like, I only speak from a place of knowledge or my own experience on purpose. Like, it's very intentional. You'll never hear me just spout out some bullshit at you that I'm not educated on, because that's just not who I am as a human. So I'm extremely intentional with what I'm creating and what I'm putting into the world, basically, and the energy I'm putting out there. And that commitment to that has become stronger than I ever thought it would be, and also stronger than I ever thought I needed it to be. So that is an insane lesson that I learned in this year. And I'm really glad that I did. And there's a lot that went into that, and there's a lot that will continue to go into that. And that's just it's being really, really grounded in the fact that, like, that is why I'm here. And that will never change. I felt the feeling in my stomach for many, many years that I was meant for something more than what I was doing, that I was put on this planet for something extraordinary, but I didn't know what that was. And I'm starting to figure that out. And it feels fucking good. And the more committed I become to it, the deeper it gets. And the more just completely sure I am of it. So that's why, like, when I say to you guys, like, I am, anybody on here who's ever met me in real life, like, this is how I am all the time. And I'm committed, and I take that responsibility very seriously. I take it very seriously to be real and honest with you guys. And that commitment has been life-changing for me. So the deeper that commitment gets on my purpose, the more real and raw I am, the better I feel, the more people I can reach, the better everything just flows. So that has been a huge lesson for me this year, that I'm extremely grateful for, and am just insanely just proud, quite honestly, you know, of being able to take control and create that. So that would be the next lesson. And then the last one is, so I have always been the strong one, right? Always. And so this is about to get a little deep, ladies and gentlemen. I stand in the place of power. I control most conversations. I'm the strong girl. Like, nothing phases her, is what people like. What I recognized this year is that the majority of people in my life assume that the things that are going around me don't really faze me very much, because I don't let them see that. I don't really let things outwardly faze me or stop me or slow me down. While I may think about them constantly, and it may worry me, and I may talk to like a couple of people about those specific things that bother me, I would never speak about them out loud. I would never tell the person who disappointed me or let me down or hurt me that they hurt me in that moment. My response to them would be like, no worries. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And then I'd stop and I'd sit there and I'd be like, what the fuck, you know? And I would feel constantly, I have created a world where, by being that way, I am always the second option. I am always on the back burner. And this is nothing intentional. And I'm not talking shit on anyone in my life, although this is a normal thing that happens to me by people who are constantly in my life every day, and people who kind of just pass through or have been passing through for years, on and off. And I have put a lot of work in and shined my flashlight in the deep, dark, secret circles of, like, corners of my world, to recognize those things, to notice patterns in the way I handle my situations. Because if you are continuously being treated a specific way by people, what's the common denominator? It's you, right? So if you're unhappy with this constant attention or this constant type of treatment that you're getting, you need to look at you, not at everyone else. So I recognized that. And it was really hard, and it's very difficult for me to be emotional. I've always been the cool girl, right? Like, I've always been the chick who, because all my friends are guys, and when I say that, it's a real thing. I like trucks and Jeeps and fishing and getting dirty, and it's just a part of who I am. I grew up that way. So I mean that. I don't say, it's not like that hot dog meme, you know, where, like, hot dogs are getting thrown in a girl's face. Like, when you say that. So in that moment, I've just never was somebody who was super emotional. And to be really honest with you, like, when I'm pissed off, if somebody hurts my feelings or I get mad, I'm literally mad for 10 minutes. Like, I don't stay mad. Grudges are irrelevant. They are a waste of energy. Like, and I've always felt that way. So, but in being that way, I never said, hey, like, that's not okay. for you to treat me that way, or that's not okay for you to blow me off, or it's not okay for you to not respond to what I said or treat me like a human being or make me a priority. Like, I would never say those things to people. I would allow them to treat me that way, whether they realized it or not, whether they were intentionally being malicious or not. I would let them treat me that way, and I would say nothing. Anybody who's felt disappointed, like they're not important, like they're not a priority, knows that that's just not a great feeling, right? It's not a great feeling to have, and it wears down on you, and it makes you wonder, like, well, what the fuck? Like, am I surrounded with, like, a bunch of freaking assholes? Like, where's this coming from? And so I spent a lot of time this year breaking that stuff down and paying a lot of attention to my own patterns around that, and realizing that what point I can control in those situations. What can I do when something someone else does is disrespectful or hurts my feelings or is disappointing? So instead of saying, it's okay, no worries, guys, don't worry about it, in the moment, I tell them how I feel. But here's the beauty of it, and now please know this, because I do not like people who are dramatic, and I am not dramatic, ever. I don't enjoy that. It's not fun for me, and I hate that people stereotype women as emotional, dramatic creatures that freak the fuck out and cry all the time. Like, I do not embody that at all. So what was really cool for me was to recognize that I could say, hey, person, what you just did or what you just said was disrespectful to me because X, Y, and Z, and this is how I feel. And I could say it in a respectful, calm manner to where after the conversation was over, I didn't feel upset about it anymore. I wasn't thinking about it in my head like, why would they do that to me, and what the fuck, and da-da-da-da, and like driving myself crazy basically about it, but never saying it out loud. I could express those things to people in a calm fashion, and both parties could walk away with the knowledge, the understanding, and feel better about it. Whether that other person or not gives a fuck about the fact that they were disrespectful or hurt me doesn't matter. But I didn't want them to take up space in my brain anymore. I wasn't going to allow someone else to take up real estate in my head, because that's quality space I need for other things, right? So instead, I've trained myself, and I'm still working on it, and it takes conscious effort every single day to express myself in the moment if something isn't right or I'm treated incorrectly. I just say it. And I say it in a calm, like I said, it's not dramatic. It's not like, oh my God, why would you do this to me? I choose not to live my life that way. In business especially, so why wasn't I doing that in my personal life? Well, I just wasn't, because that was just not who I am. I've been through a lot of shit in my past, and my defense mechanism was to be the strong girl. And then I was told, oh my God, you're so strong, like my whole life. So I just continue to embody that, right? And what I recognize is, and a lot of people go through that, and that's like our defense mechanisms, because we become conditioned by what we go through, and that's how life goes, right? So like creating the reality in my mind that it is acceptable for me to give a fuck and have feelings and tell someone, especially men, like this is a thing for me with my male friends and guys that want to date me and family members and things like that, where I'm like, just don't say anything when they're fucking disrespectful. So instead, I do now. And some of them take it well, and some of them freak out, and some of them look at me like I have 14 heads, because nobody else is honest like that, which is unfortunate and makes it a little bit more difficult for me to do. But I'll say it was a huge lesson that I've learned in this past year that I'm really glad that I did. It was very hard. It's heavy. It's ugly. Nobody wants to have those types of conversations, right? But I'll say that, like, I know that my relationships that have stayed true are better than they ever were before. I feel lighter than I ever have before. There is no stress and drama and turmoil in my head, because I know that what I'm thinking, feeling, wanting, needing, whatever, is being expressed in an actual way where the person's fucking hearing me, because that's the biggest problem. Communication is the biggest issue in our entire world. No, most people don't even know what they want to begin with, let alone can they communicate it to other people. So basically, when you do that and you're communicating with someone else, it clears so much shit. So either people freeze because they're like, oh fuck, like she's being honest and I don't know what to do with that because no one else in my life is honest with me. Or it opens up a window to have an actual conversation with someone and a connection where there is no bullshit and there is no stress and there is no drama. And what's interesting about this, and then I'm going to jump, if you guys have any questions or anything about this, you feel free to pop them in. But those, like, this is the last of the lessons that I really wanted to talk about. But the interesting thing about this is that there are several people who have been in my life for many, many years who do not understand this. And it has created quite a bit of distance between us, even more so than there was when I started out on this journey of like creating my own world that no one understands and they think I'm crazy. This part of it is a whole nother ball game, right? Because most people don't tell the truth and most people don't look their own shit in the face, let alone talk about it out loud. So the fact that I don't have that as a part of my life anymore isn't something that most people who've been in my world for many, many years can understand. So it creates distance between us because they assume that there's drama and, oh my God, what happened? You're not talking to that person anymore? What happened? Nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be dramatic. And that's the problem most people don't recognize. If they would just shut the fuck up and tell the truth and quit lying to themselves and everyone around them, their world would be a much lighter, much more pleasant place. Trust me, I've realized that. In the last 2 years, I've told more truth than I told in 20 years. And it's light, and and I don't have to worry about anything about who I told what because I don't have to worry about that. But the biggest thing is most of the time we're just not honest with ourselves, and that's where it all stems from. But anyways, back to that, the last thing I said about how I realized that I needed to share my emotions and I needed to share them on my terms. And I was able to share those things without being a dramatic, emotional, crying mess with people. That realization was probably one of the most powerful things, to realize that I can actually get my point across and I move forward. Whether the other person wants to move forward or not is their problem, not mine. I'm really working on this right now. It's difficult, but so worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I agree. Love the last one. We'll try for 2018. Awesome, Brent. I think that's, it's really great and it's hard, but so don't give up. The appropriate response to a person being straight with you is thank you. Agreed, Stephen. It is very refreshing when someone is actually honest and straight with you. But I will tell you, it's been a very enlightening experience being upfront about how someone's actions or words affect you. Most people don't know what to say. They just don't say anything. There are people who've been part of my life. This just happened to me the other day. A friend of mine, he's been a part of my life for over 10 years. And I was extremely honest with him. And he didn't know what to say, so he didn't say anything, which is okay. I'd rather you say nothing than bullshit me, right? But it's been very enlightening, and it was a huge lesson for this year, and I'm excited to continue, moving forward, because I think the more you go down this path and this lifestyle, you move on to all of these things, right? And like these things just get deeper and stronger, and like the commitment I talked about as like my second thing is just going to continue to get deeper and stronger and more amazing, because like there's this really intense, amazing, like underlining sense of calm in my life now that I can't even express. Yeah, Joey, I'm not gonna pull your finger because you're talking ridiculous on something I'm being serious about. So thank you. There is an underlining level of calm in my world that never used to exist and that I don't think a lot of people get to. And it's pretty freaking amazing. And it's one of the most empowering things I've ever created for myself, because no matter what chaos is going on around me, no matter what is happening or stress is happening or whatever is going on, there is an underlining sense of just calm. And whether it's purpose or it's respect or it's empowered, like I know what I'm doing with my life here kind of thing. Like I know I got this, whether I don't know exactly how to describe it other than to say that it's just like this intense underlining calm. And so I think that comes from all of these things put together, which is really awesome. I used to lie all the time when I was younger, and I learned along the way that the truth will truly set you free, and I never let that go. We don't lie anymore. Absolutely. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Lying is a waste of time. It's such a waste of time, and most people don't recognize that. Like, constantly poking fun and making jokes is lying. Constantly saying you're going to do something and not doing it is lying. All of those things are lying. Like, why? Like, why even waste your words? It's bad intention and attracts bad energy to you. So it's one of those things where it's just not worth it. I don't even pay attention to people who talk like that. You know what I mean? So yes, that would be, I would say, my top 3 lessons. If I had to pick 3, there's been a lot of lessons this year, but that would be the top main things, is learning that I could even create physical strength that matched my mental strength. The deeper commitment to my purpose, and sharing and being open with you guys, because this is what I'm here for, right? And that I can actually, that I need to speak up for myself and my feelings and still be able to maintain like who I am as a person and not be labeled as that like emotional person. Dave, people are so addicted to lying, they don't even know they're doing it. Most people have no idea that they're lying. It's a very great point. Most people have no idea. Being a genuine, honest person will make it hard to get along with many people who don't live their life by the same truthful standard. It also gives a lot of inner peace and strength. 100%, Anthony, that's a very, very great point. Most people are very uncomfortable around you when you're genuinely honest, and living your life a specific way. It makes other people very, very uncomfortable, which is not your problem, right? Hopefully it becomes contagious and they want to shift, but yeah, it helps with putting yourself out there, like you were saying, for yourself. Absolutely, Dennis. Agreed. I hate calling you Dennis. It's weird, DJ. Like, Aaron, if you could be serious like once in a while, it might be good. All right, you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you watching this, because this is obviously pretty deep. Obviously, a really deep look into just the journey that I go on. I share a lot of it with you, and I think there are so many different ways to share and say and experience the things that we do. So I hope this conversation was great for you. If you liked it, I love the thumbs up and the hearts and all that good jazz. You guys are awesome. And if you want to share this, I'd appreciate it. I think there's a lot of good nuggets in here that can possibly help some people. And again, like I started the conversation about, like, for those of you who have been on this journey with me and are so amazing, Emily, like, God, I can't wait till the day that I can just hug you. I truly 100% appreciate all of you, and I can't even, like, I'm about to cry. Like, I can't even tell you how much all of you mean to me. Like, it's big. You guys mean so much. So, thank you. As much as you say I inspire you and give you strength, you inspire me and give me strength as well. So, all right, I'm going to go. I will talk to you guys all soon. Yes, Russ, I totally miss you too. Can't wait to have you back in the group. Anthony, true honesty shakes people up, but will help reveal unhealthy relationships in your life. 100%, Anthony. I definitely agree, and I believe it's the epitome of being a lighthouse. People see the light when they're ready to see the light. You can't force them. But if you continue to be true to who you are and shine your light as brightly as you feel the need to shine it, some people might not look, but they'll look when they're ready. Doesn't mean you stop shining. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day.